Hey, what's up, guys? This is Sam, and I'll be doing the free video for Friday, November 12th, 2021. So, yet another week in the books. Pretty strong close to a rather mediocre week in terms of the price action, but it did achieve a couple of things. So, I'm going to focus here where we've been focused in these free videos for the past 2, 3 Fridays now. It's going to be on the NY Fang. I'm using this chart here. You can pull it up on your end. Money sign NY Fang. It's just kind of a shortcut to understanding what the Fang stocks as a group are doing. Now, I actually have my own Fang index that I use that I think is a little bit cleaner than this, but this is just a very easily relatable product that you could pull up on your end. And I still am focused here on this weekly squeeze. So there's 3 weekly squeeze that I want to show you in this video. And maybe 2 weeks ago we isolated in the room the potential for kind of a blow off top scenario going into the end of the year, and we have a good beginning stage of that. And the question is, is it still intact? Can it still do it? And everything that I'm seeing says that it can. So let me show you a couple of things here, and then I'm going to show you 2 or 3 stocks that will play well with this idea. So first things first, here is the NY Fang on the daily. You can see that it did actually come back to the daily 21 2 days ago, which is normally a very good buy point because it's the first test of the daily 21 in an uptrend, which is normally a buy. It's a little tricky in here, but I have to just stick with the trend. The reason I say it's tricky is just because, these buy and sell signals have been good in the past. You can see each time it basically nailed pretty close to the top and the bottom. Here, here, here. Now, you have the beginning stages of a sell signal here, right? You don't have the red yet, but you have the gold and the pink, which are beginning stages. But in this instance, it's a little bit different because you're completely in trend, and your red line is trying to slope up, right? So when you get a sell signal like that in the context of trend, the only thing that means is you look to buy this 21, and you still treat it as trend. So I don't think that those sell signals are going to matter too much, this one here at least. And then this one, which is a sell signal again, is trying to turn here at the center. So I think this chart is still intact. So this is the first weekly squeeze I want to show you. And just understand, right, we're looking at the NY Fang here, and this basically is all of the mega cap tech stocks that really move the planet. Next up is going to be the IWM. So this is kind of the polar opposite of what we were just looking at. We were just looking at mega cap tech, and in this instance we're looking at small caps, which have very little technology exposure. And again, I'm just wanting to show you the combination of these signals going into the end of the year. So you have this giant breakout pattern. This pattern measures out to about 250, excuse the terrible looking 2 there, to about 260. So it definitely still has some juice, and there's a pretty perfect looking weekly squeeze still intact. So we have the Fangs, we have the IWM, weekly squeezes, and then the last one I want to show you here is the Dow. And the Dow also has its own corresponding weekly squeeze, which, if you start to put things together here, and you think about the market in terms of kind of like a Venn diagram, if you will, you have tech on one side, you have small caps on the other side. Let's just say the Dow is down here. Maybe it's a triple Venn diagram. Of course, there's some overlap, but you can see here this pretty good angled weekly squeeze on the Dow as well. So, in my opinion, as long as the Dow is holding above the 21, the IWM is holding above the 21, and the NY Fang is holding above the 21, you give it the benefit of the doubt for an end-of-year run, and look to play it that way. I think some of the highest probability setups are more than likely going to be found in the Fang stocks, just because the necessity of the Fang stocks to move the entire market. So let me show you just 2 here that I was looking at. First up is going to be Apple. And Apple here has that same weekly squeeze. And it honestly has a little bit of kind of the beginning stages of a bear pattern that is very unlikely to play out, right? So you have a little bit of, maybe conventionally, a little bit of a bearish looking pattern there. But frankly, if it closes above, basically if it closes above this week's high, it takes off the top. And then you have this weekly squeeze underneath you. So definitely one to pay attention to because it's unlike, let's say, I don't know, Netflix, or just even the QQQ in general for that matter. Apple here is still very reasonable in terms of the entry. You're right in the meat of your buy zone. So from a probabilistic point of view, even though it's technically a weaker setup than something like the Fangs as a basket, just the proximity here to major support and the weekly squeeze makes it pretty attractive, at least to me. And then the other one here is going to be Google. Now, this one you can definitely alternate between Google or Amazon. I think that they're both setting up on the weekly. Google here doesn't have any weekly squeezes, but it does have much better trend structure and acceptance of price above these previous all-time highs than the other ones, right? So Apple's not trading at an all-time high, neither is Amazon. Google is, but it's showing some pretty good acceptance up here with all this kind of accumulation, if you will, right there at the above the highs. So that's the way that I'm going to be looking at the market going into next week and basically into the end of the year, unless something major changes, which I don't see. So just be aware going into next week, it starts off strong. Monday and Tuesday are typically indicated as historically bullish days. And then the last 3 days of next week, including OPEX Friday, monthly OPEX Friday, is actually has a bearish connotation. So I think if it plays out just through the historical probabilities, run it Monday, run it Tuesday, look for some Wednesday, Thursday, Friday weakness to buy into, because the week after next, which is OPEX, is typically a very bullish, and it runs all the way into December, falls a little bit at the beginning of December, and then goes higher until the end of the year. So when you have squeezes on the FANG stocks in the form of the NY FANG, the IWM, and the DIA, that's a very rare combination of signals. You combine those three rare signals with the seasonality that we're in, and it makes for a very potent setup to finish the year. So I'm going to be looking at Apple, Google, potentially Amazon, and also IWM going into next week for long plays into the end of the year. All right, guys, that's my time. Hope it was helpful. Don't forget to leave us a like, leave us a comment, tell us what you're trading, and I'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend, guys. Cheers. Hey, guys, this is Sam, and I'm the Director of Equities at Simpler Trading. I want to thank you for watching this video, and before you go somewhere else on the YouTube, I'd like to ask that you comment and like the video. It really does help us out with the algorithm and getting the message out to more folks who like to see our content. Also, be sure to click the bell notification and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss anything that comes out. If you want to watch us trade in real time using our own money, come over to simplertrading.com and learn how to sign up. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you for the next video. Cheers.